guys? It's your boy Shaun back with you in another episode of Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun. This is episode 18. I don't know why I say 18 that slow, but yeah, it's episode 18. So again, welcome to the 18th episode of Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun. Of course, before I get started, shout out to and always Cinescape Media for the constant support and help with my podcast, the editing and all the good stuff they do. Shout out to Cinescape Media, and make sure you guys go subscribe to Cinescape.media. If you haven't done it by now, then you are failing me, as I am constantly giving you this plug every single week. Okay, but before again, this is also before I get started segment. I felt this was going to have to be one of the episodes, again, like this episode 18, where I needed to pre-rant, and this is, again, like I said, has to be one of these episodes. And this pre-rant is on the NFL deciding to play the Black National Anthem. So yeah, they decided, the NFL decided we'll play Lift Every Voice and Sing, and of course the Star Spangled Banner during the Week 1 games of the season. Now, the reason this won't be just a regular report, I say, reports saying that the NFL is going to do this, me giving my opinion to the topic and then just moving on to something else, is because I have to get something off my chest a little bit here, because there are people out there, mostly white people, let's just be honest. I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm not trying to be ignorant or anything. I'm just being honest. I'm going to be 100% serious. It's mostly white people that are saying two lies right now. The biggest two lies I see since the NFL decided they came out and said publicly they will play a Black National Anthem. So let's just really quick break down these two things. One of the most common things I am seeing. So since the report came out, the NFL will play a Black National Anthem, you have white people coming out and saying, oh my God, I'm not watching NFL anymore. Or I stopped watching after Kaepernick took a knee, blah, blah, blah. Now, this lie is common. This is why I just made it number one. I could have went from 2 to 1, what's the most important. Number 2 is the most important, which you're going to see in a bit. But this lie is just common. You always have that one person, that tries to be the outsider, that one person that says, I won't watch something just to tune in the next week to see what's happening. So to all those people out there that are saying you're not watching NFL or you're not watching NFL anymore because of this, I don't believe you. I don't believe it takes them to decide to play a Black Anthem song just for you to say, I'm not going to watch the NFL anymore. I'm not going to pay attention to what my team's doing, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe you. 100% do not believe you, and I think you're lying through your freaking teeth. You're not fooling anybody. I hate seeing that comment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I've made that comment at times where I'm like, look, I'm not going to watch this, but then you're going to tune in. It's a lie. We all know in the end you're going to tune in. Frustrated. You get frustrated at certain things, but you're not going to tune in anymore. You want to see what's going on, especially in sports, man. We want to see what's happening with our team. When your friends or someone's talking about you missed one of the best throws or something, you're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not watching no more because they're playing this or they're doing this. Stop lying. You're going to freaking watch it. Now, number 2. Please, again, maybe it is, I said mostly white people, but for anyone out there that is blaming the Black community, can you please stop saying we asked for this? We did not ask for this. Stop saying that the Black community asked for the NFL to play the Black National Anthem. We did not ask for this. This has ignorant people so mad that they're saying we, the Black community, is needy and want so many demands. What the fuck? No, we don't. We just want to be treated equal. Period. That is it. I don't understand where this is coming from. I've seen Twitter. I've seen comments all over YouTube. It don't make no sense. You think the Black community as a whole is applauding it, like we're clapping for the NFL for deciding to play the Black National Anthem? I know I'm not doing that. Yes, it's a nice gesture. I'm not going to say it's not something, new and I'll say innovative, but at least it's something the NFL's doing. But it's just all it is to me. It's a gesture. That's it. Hell, if anything, this could be another tactic if you really want to break it down. It's like another tactic to show a little more division amongst us as a society. Seriously, think about it. Why? No one, again, stop saying we asked for this. That is my most important thing of this. Stop saying the Black community is coming out we want that. We just want change, dude. We just want to be treated like freaking human beings and not lesser than anyone else. I don't understand why that's so hard. It don't make any sense. It really just, it burns me up. That's what I'm saying. again, like I said, if you really think about it, it sounds more like a division amongst anything. If the NFL is saying, hey, we're going to just play the Black National Anthem, not the whole National Anthem, we're just going to play the Black version of it, that doesn't show togetherness to me. That don't make sense. Again, it's a nice gesture, but it's not like the NFL to me is still losing brownie points here. They're not understanding what bringing everyone together is. Just because you're playing a Black Anthem does not mean you still understand what the hell was going on with us and why we're so frustrated. You know, again, you know what I would trade for the NFL playing the Black National Anthem? How about giving Colin Kaepernick an actual chance to get a job in the NFL playing quarterback? How about that? Why are we doing everything else around here except just giving Kaepernick a damn job? I don't understand that. The first thing you should be doing, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face, is just give Kaepernick an actual shot to join an NFL team. We should be getting more of those reports. Kaepernick's been invited to camp. He's been invited here. He's been blah, 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 blah. Roger Goodell apologizing. Everyone apologized to this damn dude. But no, all we're getting is a beat around the bush and say, oh, we're gonna stand more with our players. We're gonna do this with them, and oh, now we're gonna play a Black Anthem. I would trade that in an instant. Don't get me wrong. I love, Black culture and history, and I'm not saying just disregard the Black Anthem. I'm just saying, if you ask me what I would trade that for, give Kaepernick a damn job. The man that got you talking like this in the first place. Again, this is an okay, nice gesture. I'm not saying that this is all bad. But the idea that there's white people out there, just ignorant people in general, acting like the Black community asked for this. Like we're applauding, we're clapping with the NFL because they decided to do this. Again, I'll one-up you. I'll raise you. Let's play a poker game. I'll raise you. How about this? I raise you, give Kaepernick a job, and then let's go from there. I've been told y'all on this podcast. It's just the NFL's trying to save face. Where was this talk of Black Anthem and standing with your players when Kaepernick took the knee? Y'all may be tired of hearing me say that, but it's the absolute truth. Can't be tired of hearing the truth, man. That's the truth. The NFL fell flat in their face, and they have folded when Kaepernick, and they had a chance to be, take ahead of the curve when Kaepernick took a knee. Like, it don't make sense. You remember what they did after he took the knee, right? They blackballed Cap out of the league instead of standing with their players, speaking out against police brutality and social injustice. So they are trying to save face with these week-to-week gestures. Every week we're hearing them doing something different. You're hearing this guy saying this or that. Oh, just act on it. As far as the main thing I want you to act on, for me personally, is give Kaepernick a chance for a job. Stop letting these ignorant people out there switch this narrative that Kaepernick was never a good quarterback. That's why he doesn't have a job. Give the man a chance to be in NFL. And again, I made this clear. He's not a top 10, don't have to be top 15 quarterback. But the man is better than the majority of the backups that your team probably has right now. Bar none. I don't understand why that's so hard to understand. They can go week to week and say, oh, Shaun, look, they're doing this now. They're doing this. Everyone's taking it. Bro, you know what the main thing y'all need to do. You need to give Kaepernick a freaking chance. And I'm not saying all is going to be forgiven. Don't get me wrong. It's still like, I'm saying the world's going to be a better, everything's going to be great. But you know that y'all failed before. You're just trying to pick up the pieces and try to stay in the race with everyone else, like the NBA, with NHL, Major League Baseball. You're just trying to keep up with them. That's all you're trying to do. NFL, come on, man. It's crazy. So again, that was the reason why I had that little mini rant. I didn't yell as much as I thought I was going to. But still, it don't make any sense. Stop saying like we asked for this. We just want to be treated fucking equal. How is that so hard? How is that so hard? We're not out here saying, oh my God, give us this, give it this. Like we're needy little kids. That's not what we're doing. NFL's taking that upon themselves. We didn't ask for them to do that. It's a nice gesture, like I said, but we didn't ask them for this. We want y'all to understand why we took the knee in the first place. It had nothing to do with the flag or anything like that. Dude, there was one big reason why he took the knee. And he got the damn, I fight revisionist history, but he got the idea from a white man that was in the military. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to understand that. But yes, just getting that out the way for us continue to the NFL portion of this podcast of episode 18 and what I saw through this week in NFL. Get it through your thick heads. We did not asked for this. NFL's pulling this card. We just want to be treated equal. We just want Kaepernick to have another shot. That's what I want, I know. Because again, if you look at them deciding to say, oh, we're going to play a black anthem, it doesn't sound like togetherness. It sounds more of a division amongst us as a society. Like, you have to choose what ethnic group we're going to represent in this supposedly, free for, together and free for all thing during the games. Like, I don't understand that. You got to find another way to make me believe that you're trying to bring everyone together. That just, if you look deep into the lines here, and you can say I'm overthinking it, but it's the way it looks like they're trying to divide us still. It don't make sense. Who the hell asked for that? But okay, moving on to the NFL portion, official NFL portion of the week, Sunday. Well, news of the week for Sunday Sports Wrap. Listen, y'all know what this is, man. If you've been listening to episode 1, you know what I'm about to do. So here in the NFL, started off, Cam Newton signed with the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots signed the free agent quarterback to a 1-year deal. So this actually happened this past Sunday, Sunday before this one. A couple hours after I recorded my 17th episode, I was a little annoyed because, because obviously this would have been the biggest news I would have for the NFL. Not Cap. I think my one to start out last week was Dak Prescott got his $31.4 million contract or something like that as far as the tender. That was not going to beat out the Cam Newton story. I think this one is way bigger. Still shocked, this happened though. To be honest with y'all, what a move by New England Patriots, who are clear winners with this deal. It's a win-win if you look at it. Now, it is only a 1-year deal, but they also called it a 1-year incentive Aladdin contract. So I'm sure if Cam Newton does a few things that he does in the games or, accomplish something during the year in the contract, he could earn more money in this deal. Excuse me. I don't know how that happens. I love the opportunity, though, that Cam is getting because I still believe if he is healthy, that man is a top 10 quarterback. I'll argue anybody. I think it's ridiculous that he was a free agent that long, and I don't care what anyone says, he's going to be a starter, but it is really great to see that Cam's going to get a shot, and he's motivated and hungry, too, because the fact it feels like people forgot this man used to be an MVP and a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. As for the Patriots, it's like a win-win for them, period. Like I said earlier, remember, it's a 1-year deal, so there's really no skin off them, if this doesn't work with Cam, because if it does work, you got yourself a hungry, motivated Cam Newton that's trying to go out there and prove to everybody to stop overlooking him for some reason, especially when he's healthy. And then it sets you up, again, as the New England Patriots, if you think about it, this sets them up to keep winning in a division they've been dominating for decades. Like, it's crazy. The Patriots have won the last 11 AFC East division titles, which brings me to the clear losers of this deal is the other teams in their division, the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins. Bill Belichick being a great coach is such a great coach, so Cam should learn a lot and improve his game under having a coach like Belichick. And this is also a kind of thing for Belichick to prove that it wasn't all Brady. Because, with Tom Brady leaving, everyone kind of counted out the Patriots and Belichick, saying the only reason why you guys was good was because of Belichick. I feel like that's ridiculous. I feel like Bill Belichick is a great coach, and he will prove this with Cam Newton under his tutelage and being able to show everyone that, look, yes, Tom Brady is the great GOAT and all that, but I still could take a good quarterback, which Cam Newton is, and still make our team relevant for later on. Again, the clear losers of this is the other team, the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins. Because just when they thought it was okay to poke their heads out and be like, hey, look, Tom's out, Gronkowski's gone, we have a chance now to win this division. And I think the team that's been closest, that's really been giving them somewhat a run for the money is the Bills. But again, with Cam Newton going there and the way the Patriots organization is like a win organization, and very professional. They remind me of the San Antonio Spurs of the NBA. I feel, with Greg Popovich and them, I feel like those other teams are like, damn, we could basically lose the division again. And I believe the Patriots are going to win the division now because they signed Cam Newton. Not saying Super Bowl. I'm just saying they definitely can win that division because AFC East to me is still one of the weakest divisions in NFL, period. But yeah, where was I at? Oh yeah, there's also reports that Cleveland Browns was looking at Cam Newton but never made an offer. I wonder how Baker Mayfield feels about that. I saw that little thing in there. They never made an offer, but the fact that they was looking at him, I mean, it's good. They could be bringing Cam there to be a backup, even though Cam said weeks ago, well, it was like months ago, Cam Newton did come out and say he will not sign with the team unless he's the starter. So for anyone out there that thinks, they're not going to be, that he's not going to be a starter is ridiculous. They brought Cam in there on a 1-year deal. He's a former Super Bowl, playing quarterback. Super Bowl playing quarterback. He was in the Super Bowl. He led the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl. He was an MVP. So if you think he's just going to be there to be a backup, then you're drunk. You're just crazy. That man is coming there to be the starter for the Patriots. Again, it's a win-win. If it doesn't work out for the Patriots, okay, look, we tried. Moving on to whoever else we have on our team, or maybe another free agent. If it works out, they have Cam Newton going forward, bringing that swagger, to that team. Moving on, Hall of Fame safety, former Hall of Fame safety Rod Woodson said it's more difficult for Hall of Famers to get NFL coaching jobs. So he said in a quote that he thinks if you are a former player that has a gold jacket, aka it's a Hall of Fame jacket, basically for people that don't pay attention to those things. But basically, for a player that's a Hall of Fame jacket, if you have the jacket, he believes it makes it harder to get assistant coaching jobs because he doesn't believe there might be head coaches or whoever getting you all the respect and love right off the bat as soon as you start working. He brought up the idea that some organizations only want one alpha in the room. Excuse me, I keep clearing my throat. My point, so going through all that, I read all that, and again, to break it down, Rod Woodson, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's saying that because you have the gold jacket, because you're a Hall of Famer, you may get more respect than an actual head coach. You'll get more respect from the players in the locker room. Even though you're an assistant, you'll get more respect because you have that gold jacket compared to a head coach that maybe never played NFL, or maybe he did and he just was never good. You'll get more respect from the players. And the idea, he said, is that they only want one alpha in the room. They only want one dominant figure in the room, and that's the head coach. Head coach should be the most dominant figure in the room, according to Rod Woodson, about other organizations. So as I kept saying, as I keep saying now, I'm thinking it's a confusing explanation by Rod Woodson. So again, I broke it down for y'all. Even I'm getting confused saying it. I just feel like it's all over the place because I don't agree. Overall, I don't know why Rod would say this, because it's not like former players make good coaches anyway. There's also lessons. There's also other side to this. The reason why Hall of Fame players, don't get signed as be head coaches or assistant coaches or GMs or whatever, there is history where they're not good results with those former players. Just because you played the game don't mean you probably can coach it, because there's a lot of times where guys got fired because they were former players. You can look over history of Hall of Fame players from any sport, and there are some that was awful coaches. It's the same thing with players becoming analysts or talking heads on TV or podcasts and debate shows. Yeah, they played the game, but there'd be some nonsense also coming from their mouths too. Also, Rod Woodson has been on several staffs. So this is for some of you people obviously that may not know. Rod Woodson has been on several staffs before and let go. And in one instance, when he was let go, he trashed the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, who he used to work for. He trashed the Raiders to the media, so that doesn't help your chances. So it comes off to me as just, well, why are you bringing this up? Why are you bringing up, it's hard for you to get jobs? When you've had jobs before working, he's a Hall of Famer, was a great safety in his day. I'm going to go back and watch his tape. He was a great player back in his time. But this idea that he's saying the NFL is trying to hold you down because, organizations are not trying to bring you in because you'll get more respect. I don't believe that. Again, Rod, you had opportunities and you've got fired from staffs. And even in one instance, as I just said, when you worked for the Raiders, you went to the media and trashed the Raiders for letting you go. So why would a team even trust you in the future? You're killing, you're just, what is it called? Destroying your bridge, of that network, of that connection with other teams. They're going to look at that and be like, maybe he grew up from it, of course, but it's still like, dude, why would we trust you to do that? So to tell y'all, I don't believe that head coaches won't hire you because they're afraid, to hire Hall of Fame players because, that alpha stuff, that Rod Woodson was talking about. Especially if it can help your team. I tell y'all to this day, and everyone will tell y'all, organizations should only be looking to better their team. So if you if you're a Hall of Fame player that can bring some knowledge, of course, and some type of, your type of philosophy or whatever to the team that can help, those should be the reasons why you are hired. It should have nothing to do, I don't believe it has anything to do with some alpha stuff he's talking about. Now, if he was bringing up like everyone brings up, but it's a constant reminder that, because it is the truth, if Rod Woods would have came out and said about the lack of minorities getting hired to be coaches, then that's something that, we could talk about, because that's the truth. Just pick the right guy for the job. It shouldn't have anything to do if you're, black, white, purple, blue, I don't care. Or if you're a Hall of Fame player, you're just an average player back in your time. The point is, if you're the right person for the job, your philosophy works when we bring you in for meetings, okay, we'll bring you into our team because we believe you can help our team down the road. That's it. An NFC East head coach is not sold on Cam Newton. I should have used this as my second, like a follow-up, but whatever. I was writing stuff without going on. So yeah, that's right. An NFC East head coach not sold on Cam Newton. So this is an anonymous person. That's why I said AFC East head coach. They did not list the person's name. I guess the person wanted to be anonymous because they obviously knew the backlash they would get for saying that. Because it's kind of like trash talk. Like, oh, I'm not sold on Cam Newton. What the Patriots did, it does not matter. Yeah, okay. So a head coach from either the Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, and Buffalo Bills came out and said they don't believe the Patriots are not going to start Cam Newton. And this same coach knows for a fact that the Patriots love quarterback Jarrett Stidham. For you that don't know, Jarrett Stidham is like, I think he's like a second or third year quarterback for the Patriots. We was kind of believing this was going to be his team. Like, the keys to the kingdom was going to be handed to him, or the torch passed over once Tom Brady left. But I told y'all, since that got thrown out the window, that is thrown out the window because they signed Cam Newton. I believe he's going to be the starter. So again, that's what that head coach is saying. He believes that the Patriots love their quarterback, Jarrett Stidham, and he's not even, this coach went as far as to say Cam Newton not even start. So there's none here that I can, then I see it in a coach from either team. I feel like that coach saying that, whoever it was from the Jets, the Bills, or the Dolphins, I feel like it's like fear. Like they hope that the Patriots don't start Cam Newton. Because there's no way in hell I believe you sign a quarterback of his caliber on a 1-year deal just as a backup. Like he's some old veteran. I don't understand that. He's going to start. I will be the first one to admit I am wrong on this podcast whenever we get to that day when NFL starts in September, where I will tell you, look, I was wrong. They're not going to start Cam Newton. They're going to start Cam Newton, bro. And if that man's 100% healthy and he can get out there and sling the ball, bro, he's going to start. It don't make any sense to have a guy on a 1-year deal and then not even give him the chance to start. I guess, like I said, unless he's an Asian veteran that they just need to fill out the roster. No, this move was made news headlines because people was like, yo, what the hell? It's the Patriots signing Cam Newton. So I don't care what this coach is talking about, who this coach is, Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, or Buffalo Bills. Sounds like fear to me. You're hoping that they don't start Cam. And I don't even know, like, I wish I knew there was more detail for this. There was not much detail in this article. Like, what is this ties that this coach has from the Jets, Buffalo Bills, or Miami Dolphins? Like, what are the ties that you have that you know that the Patriots love quarterback Jarrett? Just because they love the dude does not mean they're going to start him. They can love a lot of their players. Like, where's the ties that you know that that's their number one choice? Okay, again, I just making that clear. A proven starting quarterback over an unproven young man that is Jarrett Stidham. I'm not going to. Come on a 1-year deal. Cam's going to start, man. Netflix is creating a series on Colin Kaepernick. The series will be a 6-part series about the quarterback's high school years. Colin Kaepernick will team up with filmmaker Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay. I should be saying her name right because she's a great woman. For the project. Ava was the filmmaker that did the film, kind of like documentary series of When They See Us. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. Nothing to say here except I'm excited 100%. I feel like I always started saying there's nothing to say here, but now I got something to say. I'm excited though, 100% for this. This series, I believe this series will be fire. Chronicling Colin Kaepernick in his high school years. And I'm telling you to, ignore the crybabies because I've seen it already. You guys know I read comments. I need to stop doing that. Ignore the crybabies saying, oh my goodness, why would anyone care about Colin's high school years? Ignore that bullshit. Do not listen to the ignorant people out there, don't be a follower. We all know a lot of people that say they won't watch it. As I said at the start of this show, this podcast, we know a lot of people that say they won't watch it, will watch it, period. And some people, and it's weird how society is, because there'll be some people that say, oh, I'm not going to watch this documentary about Colin Kaepernick. But they will watch it and go on Twitter, and when they do hashtag Colin Kaepernick, hashtag Netflix series, or whatever they call it, they'll hashtag it just to talk trash about the documentary. It's very weird people we have in this world. But again, yeah, people that say they're going to watch it, they're definitely going to watch it. It's a story. It's not just about his high school years. It's a story on exploring, this man's life as an adopted black child growing up with a white family. An adopted black child growing up with a white family, journeying, think about that, journeying to become an NFL quarterback, succeeded in that, by the way. He went to the Super Bowl. He was was a really good player when he got to when he was a starter for the Niners, and ended up becoming a civil rights advocate. I don't know about you, but sign me up to watch that as soon as it comes out. As soon as it airs, I'm not doing anything else but watching that. I watch with friends, watch by myself, I don't care. That to me, that's a hell of a story. It may sound cliche to some people, but it's a hell of a story, man. Like, a young black child growing up with a white family. And it's not like he forgot about his roots. That he ended up going to becoming a quarterback in NFL and still try to do something for the culture as far as sacrificing his career to become a civil rights advocate. I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm missing that. I'm watching 100%. That's a hell of a story to me. And I'm being honest, man, again, this is why people say do your research, but I didn't know that he was adopted. I didn't know he was adopted by a white family. I didn't think that he came from riches or anything like that, but I thought, black kid, had dreams in NFL, he got there, boom, he worked his ass off, now he's in NFL, and then he became, I can't wait to hear that part of his life, because I'm pretty sure that growing up for him was probably very weird and difficult and all that, man. That's crazy. So shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Netflix for picking that up. Shout out to Ava DuVernay for doing that. And shout out to Colin Kaepernick for telling the story, man. I actually can't wait for that 6-part series. Free agent Jadeveon Clowney says he doesn't mind signing with the Cowboys or Saints. Yes, at this point, for people that maybe followed Jadeveon Clowney's career, NFL defensive end, good defensive end when he's healthy. He still is a free agent, and the main reason for that, for people that don't know, is because his asking price has been like too high for people, for teams. That's why he's still a free agent, because there has been teams that's been interested in him. And to this day, I believe his asking price is still not going down. I checked, and his asking price still hasn't gone down. But according to Pro Football Network's Tony Pauling, Tony said that Clowney would take a short-term deal if the deal comes from a Super Bowl caliber team. So, he's willing to compromise, clearly. The reason for me, I think this will be difficult. I like I stated a second ago, is his asking price. Now, he is saying that, let's say he wants the Cowboys or the Saints, because they're saying he's willing to, but right now he has not. And so we say, well, Shaun, what's wrong with his asking price? If it deals with the Cowboys and Saints, here's the problem. Cowboys salary cap is only $11.3 million, while the Saints is only $8.8 million. So Jadeveon Clowney is asking for a signing price of $17 to $18 million. So he can come out and say, yeah, okay, I'll just sign a short-term deal with a Super Bowl caliber team. That makes sense, but that's the only option I think he has. No team right now is looking to pay $17, $18 million, at least from those two teams that he's looking at, the Cowboys and the Saints. There's other teams in the league that have the money, but none of those teams that really has the money has been showing interest in Jadeveon Clowney. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to butcher this man's name. He's a good player when he's healthy. Still hate the fact what he did to my quarterback last year, but that's in the playoffs, but that's a whole other story. But overall, no, Jadeveon Clowney is a good player. I think a team would benefit for having him. I would be freaking scared in a way if he went to the Cowboys somehow if he did that, because then I would have to see him 2 times in the season and worry about him trying to knock my quarterback out on purpose. So we'll see what happens. I kept checking reports. He did not bring his asking price down yet. The Cowboys have not responded to that. The Saints have not responded to what he's saying. It is what it is. And right now, for me, the Cowboys may not even be looking at Jadeveon Clowney's way, because they could be trying to get Jamal Adams and try to figure out his contract situation, when I reported a couple times on episodes 16 and 17 of Sunday Sports Wrap, showing that the Jets are trying to trade, or no, Jamal Adams wants to be traded from the Jets. Excuse me, my goodness. All right, moving on, you guys. This is, I believe, this is the last news of the week when it comes to the NFL on Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun. Nike has removed all Washington Redskins merchandise from their website. Nike has removed all the Washington Redskins merchandise from their website. This came out, there was a report that FedEx, who is, by the way, for people that don't know, FedEx is a stadium sponsor of the Washington Redskins. The Redskins stadium is named FedEx Stadium. There you go. Something that you learn new every day. Something like it would be common sense, but I understand. Some people may not pay attention to that stuff. So yes, FedEx, who is a stadium sponsor of the Washington Redskins, they came out publicly and asked the Washington Redskins organizations to change the team's name. The heat for the so right now, if you guys read, the heat for the conversation to change the name is going up when you add the fact that Nike pulled their merchandise from their website. So Nike's no longer going to be selling at this point. I'm not saying no longer, but at this point, you can definitely say it's heating up because Nike's not willing to sell anything Washington Redskins merchandise at all. FedEx paid, now this also came out that FedEx paid this also came out. For people that don't know, this is more of history thing I wrote down, but FedEx paid $205 million for the naming rights to the Washington Redskins stadium back in November 1999. According to a report by Adweek's Mary Emily O'Hara, that's really her name, on Wednesday that a group of 87 investment firms had written letters to Nike, to FedEx, and to PepsiCo, telling those companies to break ties with the Redskins until they changed the name. Damn. 87 investment firms reached out to Nike, FedEx, and PepsiCo, telling those companies to break ties with the Washington Redskins until the organization changed their name. That, to me, listen, this has been a long time overdue thing that we've been waiting for. I said last week, everyone just wants the Redskins to change the dang name. With Nike pulling their merchandise and their own stadium sponsor, they're telling them to change the name. That could be a good turning point. Now, in fact, you had 87 investment firms was the ones writing letters saying, look, y'all need to back out away from the Washington Redskins organization so they change the name. Now, according to ESPN Adam Schefter, the Redskins are undergoing a thorough review of the team's name. Again, I don't know what's so thorough about it. They literally, this has been going on for years. We've been saying this, more decades, saying just change the damn name. What kind of review do you need to do? But according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, there's no review. This is his words. There is no review. There's no change coming. So this could be the time the Redskins name is going to be changed. So that is it. Hopefully, it's not confirmed yet, but it was a moment I wrote because I had to erase it from my script because Dan Snyder, who is the owner of the Washington Redskins, there was first reports saying that he had no official plans to change the name, but then it's like I erased it immediately because an hour on that same day, I think it was Thursday, he came right out and then they said they're going to do that thorough review. So that, and according to Adam Schefter, he's kind of saying like in his not in his line of work, but more so in his experience, when people say they're doing a review of something, change is going to come. Then I remember, there was people on Twitter joking around. I think NFL Twitter had some where they was telling people, what would you like the name to be? Throw out your names. And people's coming up with all weird stuff. Again, listen, hell, to hit me up, I would want to know what people want the name to be. Listen, in the end, people just want the name to be changed. It's not that hard to understand, man. They're getting so much pressure from their own stadium sponsor, which never happened before. So again, to me, like I said before with this, you guys, that the conversation is definitely heating up. It should have, listen, this thing has already been there, but you already know everyone's just trying to follow, they're all trying to follow the trend right now. Because of the protests, because of, the Black Lives Matter, all of this going on. It seemed like some teams and some organizations and some, sponsors are trying to come out and be like, look, we have to keep up. You need to do something about this to show we have good faith with everyone in the community, every single human being out there. Sorry, guys, that is the NFL news portion of, whatever. Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun, episode 18. I will be back in a bit, you guys, to give you the NBA portion of what I saw, this week. All right, you guys. So now we're on to the NBA news of the week. Kyrie Irving won't travel to Orlando and will focus on the rehab of his shoulder. So this should come as a surprise to anybody. I've talked about this ad nauseum for how many episodes now. We kind of knew the Brooklyn Nets point guard Kyrie Irving wasn't the biggest fan of the NBA restarting their season for a few reasons, but overall I believe this is a good idea. If the reason is that he is definitely going to focus on his shoulder, I believe he's having definitely a good amount of ideas when it comes to the NBA restart and why he doesn't want to do it. But this is a good reason for me. This is good enough for me. He wants to rehab, make sure he's 100% healthy, just like Kevin Durant wants to do. Kevin Durant came out a couple weeks ago and said the same thing, that he didn't, he wanted to make sure he get his ACL right, that he wanted to make sure he's 100% healthy for the Nets next season. Hopefully by all this stuff going on, all this chaos and this epidemic and stuff is over. With the coronavirus and everything. So I understand why Kyrie did this, and he's following suit just like Kevin Durant is as well. Now, the reaction to this, is not surprising. Ignorant, I use that word a lot. Like, ignorant followers from the NBA community are calling him selfish and a diva, all because Kyrie wants to focus on making sure he's 100% healthy for next season. Yeah, okay. Again, like I told y'all, that's why we on here, this podcast, we do not care for the ignorant people. It's ridiculous that anyone be upset about this. I don't know how that makes a man selfish. Focusing on rehab, and getting better. For Nets, because you think about this year, the Brooklyn Nets have no chance of winning the finals. They have no chance of winning the championship. So why would I take a chance on further risking, or messing up my injury, my shoulder, whatever I have issues with, for a team that has no chance on winning this year? I don't know how that's selfish. I'm pretty sure the Nets organization understands. I think they're like the 8th seed or so. I don't know where they are. I think they're the 7th, 8th seed in their conference. So it's not. I don't understand they're not playing for anything. I don't understand that. The only thing you're going to, if you're the Nets, you're just playing because you want to play. We've been isolated so long. You're tired. You hate this whole thing that we haven't been able to continue the season or finish it. So you're just happy that you got the invite. But they're not going anywhere. Again, with East Special without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Are you serious? That makes no sense. Also one of their players as well, also on the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie, a good player, by the way, for the Nets, tested positive for coronavirus. And big man DeAndre Jordan did as well, has coronavirus. So, again, I ask you, what is the point of Kyrie Irving even playing? Who is the Nets starting five at this point? Spencer Dinwiddie is a good shooting guard. To me, a very good shooting. I love Spencer Dinwiddie. Kyrie Irving, we already know he's a top 5 point guard in the league. Kevin Durant's one of the top 3 players, in my opinion, when he's healthy. And DeAndre Jordan is, not one of the best big men in the league, but he does the dirty things. Rebounds, play defense, go out there and get alley-oop or two. Listen, who's their starting five? Why would you even risk your injury for that? So you can play with I'm respect to the rest of the Nets players, but they're not going out there shocking you. That's my point. So, shout out to Kyrie Irving. Forget what everyone else is talking about. And I'm pretty sure he lives his life like that, because Kyrie Irving is not giving a damn what everyone has to say about him. Because it seems like it's a fun trend for everyone now to just shit on Kyrie Irving no matter what he says. I think it all started because he left everyone's favorite son, LeBron James. So, I don't understand that. Listen, again, rehab, get better, and that's it. That makes perfect sense to me. Reports came out that NBA is unlikely to allow NBA players to have victims' names on their jerseys. Bring more in context. So the NBA, to be more clear than the headline I wrote, is the NBA don't want NBA players to have police brutality victims' names on the back of their jerseys because it could cause those victims' families more pain. This came after a week ago. A proposal was discussed by the NBA and the NBA Player Association that would have allowed players to honor those killed by police brutality to be on their jerseys during the NBA restart season. Chris Haynes of the Yahoo Sports reported that the talks were extremely complex and revolved around showing sensitivity to the families affected. The NBA will, though, I will keep this up, though. The NBA will have Black Lives Matter painted on both sides of the court, which I think is great, when the league returns. July 30th, and when they do return July 30th in Orlando, Florida. So I think if you probably go to Twitter, you can type it in, like Black Lives Matter, NBA Court, whatever. Well, actually go to Google, I should say, not Twitter. But You can see they already started it as far as they have Black Lives Matter paint on both sides of the court. I think that's dope. Again, that's NBA, man. Way ahead of the NFL. And I don't doubt that the NBA and the players will find out the way to show awareness for those victims of police brutality, even if they don't have names on the jersey. So that's really for me, like, I got to say about that. I think it's great that the NBA, and again, to see like the NBA and their players, the league and their players, Adam Silver and his players and the owners and GMs, they're not afraid. I'm not saying they're all perfect GMs and owners out there, but it just seems like NFL way down here, and NBA's on a whole nother level. It's like they want to work with their players. We'll have this topic, we'll have this talk. Like, look, you can have what you want on the back of your jersey. You can have anything you want on the back of your jersey, but we don't think having the victims, the ones that got killed by police brutality, should be on the back, because that, maybe for some families that'd be great that players is doing that. But it could be for some families, they don't want to hear about that. They don't, they're trying to move on as far as like them losing their son or daughter or grandson and granddaughter, to something crazy and ridiculous as police brutality. And the reason I say it's ridiculous because that shit should not be happening, but whatever. So shout out to the NBA. As always, they're constantly trying to find ways to communicate with their players, and to their fans to try to get them understanding. Listen, we're serious about this. I believe they definitely will find another way to push that message forward. 3 Pelican players have the coronavirus. 3 New Orleans Pelicans players have the coronavirus. Team executive vice president David Griffin did confirm that there's 3 players that are self-isolating after they did their test positive for the coronavirus. These 3 players were not named publicly, so of course fans are saying anything on who it could be as far as like who's the players that have it. I let you guess the main name that is popping up. I'm not going to say this person's name, but you know who they're probably saying has an, oh my goodness, NBA will burn down and go crazy if this so-called player has it. I said New Orleans Pelicans. That's my last hint for y'all. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He was just put on NBA cover. There you go. I'm going to give you another hint. He was just put on NBA 2K21 cover for this year. Yeah. But yeah, for me, I'm not going to say the player's name. I know some people are like, well, Shaun, why can't you say the name? Because he's not the only player on the Pelicans. People make it like it's just this guy and that's it. There's other players on the Pelicans. So I hope whoever the 3 are, they're all okay. I don't know why everyone just focuses when it comes to that one dude on the Pelicans. They don't care about anything else, right? There's other players on there that has families as well. He's not the only one. Because I'm making that clear because, again, if you check all the comments, everyone's like, it's this guy. It has to be him. It has to be him. Dude, that's whoever it is, man. I hope they're okay. I hope they're going to be fine. I hope their family's going to be okay as they self-isolate themselves before the season starts. Houston Rockets backup point guard Austin Rivers says this will be one of the toughest titles to win. The point guard came out and said this in more detail in his words, with everything going on, the coronavirus causing a long hiatus and the NBA season restarting, there should be an asterisk next to whoever wins the title this year. In his words, also, he said, you're asking guys to take 3-4 months off and come back and find chemistry, etc. Then play during a pandemic and while players are fighting for Black Lives Matter. There's a lot going on right now. And I am 100% down, 100% agree, I should say, 100% with 110% actually with what Austin Rivers said. There should be an asterisk next to this. There's going to be. I know for some fans, like Laker fans and LeBron fans and everyone across the world are like, well, if my team wins, there's no asterisk. There is an asterisk, dude. Everything he said made a lot of sense, man. He makes a fair point. The reason I believe there will be an asterisk, this for me is next to whoever wins is what he brought up, the whole playing during the pandemic. Think about it. Say your team's in the playoffs, and all of a sudden, an important X Factor player, insert X Factor player's name, right, on your team, he tests positive for the coronavirus, and they can't play. Now your team is at a massive disadvantage in the playoffs. Think about that. Think about what the Pelicans just heard. They got 3 players that test coronavirus. What if they're not good and they don't get better by the time this season restarts? And then the Pelicans miss the chance to get the playoffs because of those 3 players. That's not. And again, we know the Pelicans ain't gonna win a championship. I'm just saying that's the point that Austin Rivers, what I'm trying to make. There has to be an hashtag because this is very weird, unprecedented times. Like you can't just say, "Oh, this was legit." How? Anything can happen during the season. An important player can catch the coronavirus. Hopefully they don't. Then the whole league's up in a bubble again, going crazy. But they continue the season anyway, and then they're like, "Oh, this team won." But then there's gonna be questions. Well, they wouldn't have won if this guy so and so was here, and he wouldn't have won if this would have happened. There's gonna be hashtags next to it, dude. That's it. That's it. Your team that could happen anytime during the season. It could happen before the season even starts. July 30th is for another 3 weeks. So, and then again on the Russ portion, think about what he said as far as the chemistry. I'm expecting some sloppy. I told my dad, like, I'm expecting some sloppy basketball in the first few weeks, at least when the season comes back, because players haven't played together in a while. Yeah, I think they're players right now are training in their facilities, but there's going to be some sloppiness, especially because how careful everyone's going to be because of the coronavirus. So there's going to be an hashtag. You may not like it, but there's going to be. It's just the truth. So shout out to Austin Rivers. I believe he made a great point. And that's pretty much it. J.R. Smith officially signs with the Los Angeles Lakers. So not surprising. We all seen this coming after the Lakers shooting guard Avery Bradley. I told you guys last week that he won't come back and play the rest of the season due to the fact he was worried about his family first with the virus going around. So nothing really shocking here. So J.R. Smith will bring shooting to the Lakers. That's what I see. Don't ask me what else do you see him doing, Shaun. He's going to bring shooting to the Lakers team, from the three-point line, and that's it. Maybe some mid-range here and there, but he's really just there to fill a spot that Avery Bradley would have done as far as shooting threes. Avery Bradley wasn't the best three-point shooter. If I had to say I had to choose between him or J.R. Smith, I would choose J.R. Smith. But the reason I would take Avery Bradley, though, is because Avery Bradley does have a decent mid-range, and he can play. He's a way better defender, in my opinion, than J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is a good defender, but I think Avery Bradley's a better defender. So I would have preferred Avery Bradley overall, but if you're just bringing J.R. Smith in there to shoot threes, stay in the corner, or move around and get off picks and shoot threes off, catch a dribble, whatever, I would, that's not a bad pickup. We understood what was happening. I feel like forever J.R. Smith was tied to the Lakers anyway, but again, that's why I said it's not that surprising. So I understand why the Lakers did it. Reports come out that the NBA may have a second bubble. So this is interesting. The NBA would use Chicago City this would be where the second bubble would take place in Chicago. Where the NBA would use Chicago City as a place where the 8 teams not going to Orlando would play in September. So there's 30 teams in the NBA. 22 was invited to do the NBA restart. 8 would be going to Chicago and would play in September for a second restart, whatever. These would obviously be the 8 teams who was not invited to the NBA restart for a chance to play in the playoffs on July 31st. I think I keep saying July 31st or July 30th. So those 8 teams. The question everyone wants to know is why are they doing this? What I read in the article was it's more so of, well, they really didn't give a reason in the article. From my reason, from people saying, because I saw some people hit me up on Twitter like, Shaun, why did they do this? Why are they doing this? What are you going to say on your podcast? I believe the reason why they're doing this, because we know those 8 teams aren't playoff bound. They're not going to go to the playoffs or anything. This could be good, but this could be a good thing for them. Think about it, good for those teams for one main reason, player development. A lot of those teams that won't be an NBA restart have younger players that didn't really get to play and practice as much because of the season being suspended due to the coronavirus. So that's really my main thing I take away from this, that it gives those teams a chance to still work out with their young players. Young players get a little more experience. It's going to be very weird, obviously. Again, unprecedented times. Thank you, coronavirus. Thank you, 2020. But again, these players that was drafted, rookies or just first, second year dudes that really didn't get that opportunity to get that experience growth and everything. This could be used, the second bubble, them playing. I don't know why they're going to start in September. I would have had those other teams just play July as well. I think it's an extra NBA summer camp thing. I don't know. I don't know why they got to wait till September. But I guess they don't want to take away from the facts. Well, yeah, I guess they don't want to take away from the fact that the NBA's restarted with actual playoff caliber teams. So again, use September player development. I understand. That's fine. Again, the NBA, they're always they're finding ways to do stuff. And I'm all for it if they do decide to go that route. It hasn't like 100% official, but that's what they've been talking about. Lakers player Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis said the Lakers' title chances are higher because his team is well rested. Another player saying, "Oh, we have the best shot because we're so and so. We're all rested and we have the best roster to win." And I'll say this: I wasn't really gonna break it down much as this. I'm not trying to say Anthony Davis is a nobody. Man's a hell of a player, one of the best. I guess you call him a power forward. I won't call him a center, but one of the best power forwards in the game. I will say this: the Lakers have a great chance to win the title this year, which will have an hashtag next to it. I will not let anyone forget that. But he's right. They do have a shot, But no, I do not believe, and I'm making a lot of craziness. I do not believe the Lakers have the best team. I do not. That belongs to the Clippers. Yes, LeBron and AD are beasts. Don't get me wrong. LeBron still plays the best player in the world. I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for that. But AD is, like I said, it's a straight beast. But the Clippers roster as a whole is just, to me, is better than the Lakers. Kawhi and Paul George versus LeBron and Anthony Davis is going to be fun to watch. That's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see LeBron and Kawhi go at each other. Obviously, Paul George ain't going to probably be sticking AD. But still, it's that matchup, those 2v2. It'll be fun to watch. But the X factor for me is the Clippers bench. To me, I think it's just better than the Lakers bench, period. You look at coaching, too, with Doc Rivers for the Clippers versus the Lakers coaching and Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel's not a horrible coach, but he's not Doc Rivers. So I would still give the Clippers a 7-game series against the Lakers. That's just my opinion. I know I can be wrong. That's just how I look at it. Because Andy Davis coming out saying that they're well rested. Well, what about the Clippers? Clippers had some injury problems with Kawhi sitting out for he was getting player managing or whatever. What do they call it? Rest management, all the other stuff. And Paul George has some couple problems with his ankle, whatever. So these guys are 100% rusty too. You don't hear Paul George and Kawhi coming out and say we have the best shape. I'm telling you, listen, Lou Williams and them dudes, their bench is there. I just think they're just slightly better than the Lakers. I don't think LeBron and them has the best team. Now, NBA on the other end, the NBA could have their way and give it to the Lakers because of how the NBA. Well, that's a whole other story, but you didn't hear that from me. But yeah, that is it, you guys. NBA for this portion of Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun. The NBA news. Now we're gonna move on to the Major League Baseball news of the week. All right, guys, on to Major League Baseball news of the week. Commissioner Rob Manfred said Major League Baseball was never playing 60-plus games. Let me repeat that for you baseball fans. Commissioner Rob Manfred said Major League Baseball was never going to play 60 any more than 60 games. So this guy, this commissioner, he appeared on the Dan Patrick Show on Wednesday and said the Major League Baseball season games would only be 60 games and not any higher than that, no matter how negotiations went. So can you take away what he just said? And I'm only bringing this up. This is for my baseball fans, but pay attention to my show. Or just pay attention in general to what's going on in Major League Baseball, the negotiations. So can this just mean the Major League Baseball owners was not negotiating with good faith when during that whole frustrating process was going on against the Major League Baseball Players Association? Like, what sense does that make? What is the point of Manfred saying something like this? If the whole plan, the entire time, we didn't have a baseball season for I think 2 months now. The whole reason we was not, if this whole time you were just going to play 60 games, why not start negotiations off with that? I just don't understand. I didn't get to hear because when I was trying to play it, the Dan Patrick Show thing, the segment, it was messing up. It was freezing, lagging and stuff. I just could not get the video to play. I really hope that Dan Patrick asked him, well, what was the point of all the negotiations involving y'all? And this is the Major League Baseball throwing out these game numbers. Major League Baseball with Rob Manfred, the commissioner, saying, oh, we're going to play 70. What about 80? Hey, players, what about 90? If this whole time y'all was going to go, and it took the Major League Baseball Players Association, the players union and all that, it took them to say that, well, we want to play 60 games, and the Major League Baseball league was like, okay, we'll just do it. What was the point of that? What was the entire point of that? That was just. See, I can see. This is why I can see why fans are doing, hashtag fire Manfred, because that's something you keep to yourself. That should not be public. Like, that's terrible leadership. Why would you come out and say that? This whole time y'all wanted to play. Oh, you knew it was not gonna go past 60 games. That was always the goal. But y'all never threw out that option. It was the players that threw out that option. Makes no sense. It just makes no sense. New York Yankees is very optimistic that Aaron Judge will be ready opening day despite his injury. This is what Yankees GM Brian Cashman told reporters on Tuesday. Aaron Judge has been able, for people that didn't know, Aaron Judge has been able to participate in on batting practices and stuff during spring training during his injury. The Yankees do have, I've seen this, I'm looking around, the Yankees do have some questions about their roster coming to the season. Some of it is injury related. So it would be great for them if they can have Aaron Judge once the season starts. Which will officially, it is official that it isn't, so I will bring it up a little bit. It is official, though, that the season will start on July 23rd, with a couple games, and July 24th is when everyone, is going to start their season. So July 23rd, we will officially, which is in a couple weeks, we will have some baseball season. But there will be couple players sitting out. First one to note is Colorado Rockies outfielder announces he will opt out of 2020 Major League Baseball season and not play this year. He posted on Instagram that he wants to be safe for his family and not put them at risk, and wants to be at home with his family, especially his kids, so he can answer questions from his children about the coronavirus and civil rights. So shout out. So this is very quick. Shout out to Ian Desmond. It's weird. I put Colorado Rockies outfielder. I never said his name. His name is Ian Desmond. So shout out to Ian Desmond for deciding to sit out, for his family's sake. And he simply just wants to be a father. He wants to be there for his kids. Wants to be able to show he can protect them, not put them at risk. It's the same thing you've heard what Avery Bradley did in the NBA. There's a ton of guys going to come out. Listen, there's a lot of time here between now and the start of those seasons. I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot more players doing that because they want to protect their family. And the fact, again, he wants to just be a good father. He wants to sit down and talk to his children about the coronavirus and civil rights, which is very important. And everyone should be talking to their kids about that. Now, next topic here in Major League Baseball. Cleveland Indians is ready to discuss changing its nickname. Their name being Cleveland Indians, they're talking about changing their name. It's like watching dominoes fall. Where I keep thinking about it, it's like watching one domino fall after another. So the first domino, possibly, it didn't fall yet, but the Washington Redskins being told they should change their name. Now the Cleveland Indians baseball team is announcing they will definitely look into changing their name. Like domino effect, It's like, oh man, this team's decided to do it. We should jump on ship. The statement the Cleveland Indians made, I don't know if it was like an Instagram statement, but it was on Twitter, so everyone see, their statement was, the organization Cleveland Indians made was that they are committed to making a positive effect in their community and embracing the responsibility to advance social justice. So we'll see what happens. It sounds like it sounds like someone in the PR wrote that. It sounds like the same cliche thing we always hear. Hey, we want to be a positive outlook, but it's taken us this long. They should feel like we want to be a positive outlook, and it shouldn't have taken this long for us to understand that, hey, maybe this nickname Indians or Redskins or whatever does not sound like very culturally positive. So I don't know. It's just it's good to see though. Look, I'm not gonna be a negative Nancy on everything that I've heard as far as these possible name changes. Look, I guess it's, since it's long overdue that they're talking about it. I never really heard anyone really say much about the Cleveland Indians. I heard more on the Washington Redskins nickname, their name. But look, at least it's the domino effect. You see one team doing it, or one organization doing it, maybe we should start discussing this too. Another player dropped out as well, or opted out, I should say, of the season. Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher David Price opts out of the season. Won't play this year either. So another player refusing to play and care more about his family's safety. That's what basically he was saying. David Price did say during this coronavirus epidemic is the right move to me. I tell you guys this all the time. I will never ever shame a player, an athlete, whoever, if you decide to sit out because you want to make sure your family is going to be safe. I will not do that. Now you do have fans in comment threads, crying and being online, online tough people, internet thugs, what they usually call them, saying David Price and these other players decide to sit out or sellouts and being babies. I don't know how is that possible. Again, I explain to you guys this all the time on this podcast. Let's keep it always 100 and keep it real with you guys. I don't know how a man caring more about his family's safety is being a baby or whatever, being a rich sellout. I don't know, man. It's just people are very strange. They get so mad at these athletes for being human. I don't know. So shout out to David Price for making the decision based on, the welfare of his family. He's caring about his family first. And doing something that he loves and busts his ass, that he got to this point being and David Price is a really good player. So I know the Dodgers team will miss him, but again, I'm pretty sure they understand that, dude, we're not going to stop you from trying to protect your family. No one knows what's going to... I'm telling you, man, you don't know. It makes no sense. It's insane that anyone will get upset about that. And the last report, you guys, before I get on to quick sports notes, and the best thing I saw this week. Reports are coming out that, because I said this earlier, reports did come out officially that the Major League Baseball schedules will come out Monday. So tomorrow, on July 6th, for people that are so excited to see these schedules for Major League Baseball, July 6th, we will have a schedule release on what games will be on TV and the time of the games. New York Yankees versus the Washington Nationals and Los Angeles Dodgers versus San Francisco Giants is expected to be televised on July 23rd, while the rest of the teams will start their opening games on July 24th. So there you go. I said earlier that the 23rd will be like the first day, and then 24th they're going to skyrocket from there. So those are your two expected games: the Yankees versus the Nationals and the Dodgers versus the Giants. Those are your two games to kick off Major League Baseball season. On to the quick sports notes of the week. The National Hockey League is close to naming their hub cities, their two hub cities. Edmonton is one, and Toronto Toronto is the second one, expected to host the Stanley Cup playoffs. It hasn't been officially announced, but we might finally have the two cities for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I say finally because I think it was back in episode 14 or 15, which is obviously weeks apart and stuff. That this was something the NHL expected to have done for a few weeks now, but it's cool. I'm not mad at them. Listen, at least they're working and trying to find the cities. Hopefully Edmonton and Toronto are the two cities that will host the playoffs, and because that's all it seems like they're waiting on. They want to start the playoffs in late July, I believe. So I'm pretty sure they're just trying to hurry up get this wrapped up. I believe Toronto, they was trying to talk. A couple weeks ago, I did say that they was trying to talk to the Canadian government to try to see if Toronto was an option. So I hope that works out. Hopefully Edmonton and Toronto are the places. For tennis fans, Francis Tiafoe has coronavirus. The American tennis star said he did test positive and will withdraw from Atlanta event after testing positive for the coronavirus. So hopefully Francis is okay. He comes out as okay. I always say this on my show because I know it's some people's old news to say, oh, this guy has the corona, this woman had it, this they found. No, man, I always still come out and say I hope these people, none but blessings to them. I know they don't freaking know me, but hopefully blessings to them that everything turns out okay. So again, hopefully Francis come out as okay and he's playing in the next tennis event. Billie Jean King says the future of tennis is dynamite. Her quote, in her words, dynamite with Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka. Now, people may not know that, but Billie Jean King, who is 76 years old right now, was a huge reason for gender equality in tennis in the 1970s and using her platform to fight for other equal rights in society. So shout out to Billie Jean King for that. But the reason she says she thinks the future looks dynamite, in her words, is because the two young tennis players, Coco, who was only 16, and Naomi, who was only 22, do speak up at protests involving racism, following the death of George Floyd. So that is great to see. There's something much more bigger than sports related, but it's still it's much more bigger than sports. Seeing these two young women, these two young tennis stars, using their platform at a young age to spread awareness on a serious issue like racism. 16 and 22. You have people older than that still don't understand it and still ignorant to this day. But again, that's a story for another day. Now to the best thing I saw this week, which I believe is going to, well, a lot of people, I'm one of the people that believe that could be a movement, could be life-changing in college sports. Best thing I saw this week, 5-star center Mocker Maker commits to Howard. That is right. A 5-star high school recruit, Mocker Maker, committed to a historically black college over other schools like Memphis, Kentucky, UCLA, and hoping to inspire more, and he's hoping, and this is his words, hoping to inspire more recruits to follow. This is amazing to me, you guys. It's the best thing I definitely saw this week. I could have made it like just an actual report on college basketball news or something, but I feel like this was just the best thing I saw. This is amazing because it's like this young man is starting a movement. You love to see stuff like that, and you just love to see it. Think about it. It's like a young black player understands that if they take their talents to an HBCU, historically black college, instead of the Duke colleges of the world and other blue blood schools. Sorry, I'm messing my words up here. Blue blood schools. It can cause kind of like a shift if you think about it in college sports. Players not worried because why guys, a lot of times these guys go to these blue blood colleges and not these historically black ones. And it's just honest. These players feel that they won't get televised enough, that enough teams won't see them in the NFL, NBA. Like scouts won't be able to come to their games because they're not one of those. They're not a Duke University, North Carolina, Kentucky, or Bama in football. You know what I mean? So, it's just a way of Mocker, this young man, this young black man, saying, don't worry about if the NFL or NBA is not finding you. It's like because everyone says if you're good enough, they will find you. There's tons of good players that came from small colleges and universities, and they end up going to the NBA or NFL and having great careers. So listen, if you're good enough, trust me, they will find you. Well, say trust me because I've never been in the league, but still, they will find you. There's tons of players to look up that they even go to big schools and big prestige universities. But look, they will find you if you're good enough. So I hope young brothers and sisters that are trying to be in NFL, NBA, WNBA, whatever, or soccer, whatever, anything you want to do, that they follow this young man's lead and understand that we need more like this. It shouldn't just be young black men and women should start looking at historically black colleges. It's just, I think it's great for the culture, and it's really dope that this young man did that. A lot of people didn't believe it was going to happen. I saw reports people were saying in Twitter posts, people was like, oh, he's just visiting Howard University. He's just going to visit this historically black college. So, he could show people that I will visit it. But no, he said he did it on his first day when he went there. He committed in his mind mentally. He said, I'm coming here. And this is his idea, is that he wants to start a movement and hope that young, brothers and sisters start doing the same thing. So I think that's pretty dope. So shout out to Mocker Maker. I hope other players, young black athletes, follow his lead, and that to me that'd be great. That'd be pretty dope. So yeah, thanks you guys for joining me. This has been the Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun, episode 18. You can follow me on Twitter at capital SSW, lowercase for the rest. Rap with Shaun. Follow my Facebook page, Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun, and please subscribe to Cinescape. Goodness, like I need to take. Subscribe to Cinescape.media. Goodness gracious, I just very weird. But all right, you guys, I am out. Peace.